as I mentioned a little bit ago, your Volca series, it
Mhm.
I don't know if I should say put your channel on the map, but other
It
musicians
did.
that I know, there we go. Other musicians that I know, they were like, "Hey, check this guy out," and I'm like, "Oh, Noir, okay, okay, I know him. I bought a Volca bass because of you," and it's incredible what creators could have done with such accessible equipment. Can you tell us about that time during your channel?
Yeah, that was like a weird old that was a weird time because um first and foremost, I was I was really trying to see what was going to come of it. When I started the channel, I only had one goal. Like my goal was to get 1,000 subscribers because I realized I was like, oh wow, this is this could be really hard work. Like this is something that I see people being good at it now. Like after I kind of opened my eyes to looking, I was like, oh, there's a lot of good people in different genres, not necessarily in like the musician synthesizer genre, but um, so I think around that time I had maybe two, but I don't know, maybe 5,000 subscribers. It was very, it was not, it was a low number to a lot of people, but to me, I was like, well, I already surpassed it. Like I surpassed all my goals. Let's see if I can go to the next level. So at that time specifically, I was releasing 2 or 3 videos a week for a very short period of time. And I guess that was around the time when the algorithm also was going crazy trying to find consistent content at a certain quality level because a lot of things started to happen. I remember I met like someone who helped me do a lot of work, a music manager. He saw the Volca video. So he reached out to me like as he wanted to get me involved with his label as like a songwriter producer because of the Volca video. It was weird. And then I had just a bunch of other stuff. I got put into like Google's favorite things ad. They used some of my Volca in their like Google favorite things ad. So it was like very weird time where things were just starting to like click. Um, but at the same time, I had like a nervous breakdown around this time because I was working a day job and I was putting out about 3 videos a week. And I talked to another creator and I just said, I don't know, literally it was one of the worst times. Um, and I think I quit for around 4 or 5 months after that. I just didn't like if you look at the dates on the videos, sometime after around that, I just sort of stopped making videos for about 4 months because I had put like an unnecessary amount of pressure that I think you do when you're trying to like reach the next level or something. So, but then again, I've quit like 3 times at this point. So I keep coming back, whenever I decide after a few months, I come back.
That's something I hear from a lot of creators as well, that they take a break and sometimes they think that break is permanent, but 3 weeks, 3 months, 2 years. What keeps bringing you back to YouTube?
Well, the hardest part I think for me is I have to have something to say. Like it has to make sense for me to say it to make more videos over time. And if there's something I found that's been the most difficult is sometimes I have a lot to say and sometimes I have nothing to say. And I've had to sort of build now a way to keep consistent. So even though I'm not right now, I always try to stay about 6 weeks ahead with anything I'm doing. So like I could release a video in a few weeks, in a few weeks, in a few weeks. And by that time, maybe I'll have thought of something that's pertinent or poignant to say. Um, but that was the problem for a long time. I did something and I was like very passionate about it. And I was like, I love it. And then I'm like, I don't have anything to say. Like, I don't know who cares? And I would prefer as a personal um, kind of thing is if I don't have anything to say, I'm not going to say anything. Like there's just no point into just saying it to keep feeding, you know, this whole thing. I don't see that as being useful. And I also feel like the reason my channel has done well over time is that I've done, at least I've tried to do videos that are, you know, not necessarily like just, you know, it's Tuesday, here's a video. It's something that will be watched for many years after this, and hopefully it will bring some kind of either entertainment or semi-edutainment value, you know, year after year after year, not just like news stuff. News stuff, as you know, maybe I cover news stuff in a live stream, which I delete 24 hours after I do it because it's not really poignant anymore. And that's just how I kind of wanted to run it.
That's a very interesting approach to YouTube, and it's one that I can tell is born out of artistry. I haven't been doing YouTube for myself for very long. I've helped others with content creation. My day job is content creation and social media work. But when you're actually putting something out there with your own name on it, all of a sudden you start second guessing. And then when the algorithm is involved and numbers are involved, like at least me personally, I can't help but feel like, am I putting out enough? Am I doing the right thing? Should this video go up and I leave it up there for however long? And I get lost. And I've seen other creators as well get lost, and they forget why they started the channel. They forget about the artistry of it.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want that to be, you know, YouTube has still never been something that I've decided is going to be the thing that feeds me every day. And I'm not against people who want to do it full time. That is not the reason why I don't do it full time. I have obviously video production business that I can do for clients that is very separate. But I just found that I have to want to do it. I have to not say, oh, dude, I got to get that video out Tuesday because I got to eat. I would prefer, now maybe that day will come someday in the future, but the reason why I don't is because I just want to say every time I turn on the camera and press record, it was because of fun. It was because of I wanted to do this. And I feel like still the minute that I choose that it's because I came into that earlier during the Volca times when I told myself, you have to release this video on X day instead of release this video when you'd like. Even though it was no pressure at all, I put this pressure on myself, and that wasn't fun. And, you know, there have been about in the history of the channel, there have been 3 videos on the channel that I didn't necessarily want to do, but I did them out of obligation. And if people very like closely watch, they'll know what those 3 videos are. I'm not going to say what they are because it would be calling out a company. So I'm just going to say, yeah.
Fair. I do notice with your channel, you take a lot of different approaches and you do a lot of different series, documentary style, news as you mentioned, your 1-minute synth reviews as well, which I personally find useful, and they are popular. They're fun.
They're funny and infuriating at the same time for people. Yes.
What kind of reaction do you get, and what's the engagement like for those videos?
There are people who love the effort that I put into those. And I used to do like a few a year. And now I'm like, I'm only doing 1 a year because I don't know. I don't want to do the same thing over and over and over. And those videos take way too long and they cost too much money. So I just can't do them all the time. But I think it's a split thing between, oh, I love the like work in terms of like, you know, the camera and the writing and the humor that you tried to put into this. And then there's the other group that just say, it's 9 minutes, stupid. And that's their comment and they move on. which I get at this point, but if I didn't know how annoying the YouTube algorithm was, I would have changed it a long time ago. But because there's another YouTube synth person by the name of Audio Pills, right? And I always say, well, he's playing the YouTube algorithm perfectly. He has the same title in every video, bad gear. Like, that's how you play the algorithm. You just do the same thing over and over and over on a very rigid schedule, and it works out for you, right? With the 1 minute synth reviews, I'm just allowing that to be the one thing that I just say, look, it used to be 1 minute, but those 2 videos that were 1 minute, I deleted because they were so cringe and they were so early. And I just sort of fell into calling them this. And now I have to play the algorithm. I have to play with it. That's what it is.